What is this community called?
Clarksville.
Clarksville.
Yes, sir.
How long have you lived here?
I've been born and reared here in Clarksville.
Recently, many of us have become interested in Clarksville because we understand that the community is going to be taking over for the MoPac Expressway and the Crosstown Expressway. Will this affect you?
Not knowing exactly whether it will affect me where I am, but it will affect all of the other portions of Clarksville.
Which is coming through first?
The MoPac's going first, down the railroad.
How many families will that affect?
It will affect somewhere around, just in that area, probably 18 or 20 families.
Now, has any plans been made for these families?
Not at all.
Not at all?
Not at all.
What is happening to them? How are they going to relocate?
Now, one of the men I know in his family, they have planned to move to the other side on the Weberville Road, my understanding. But the others haven't definitely decided where to go because they don't have anywhere to go.
I see. Now, besides the MoPac, the city is then to come in with a cross-town expressway.
Yes, sir.
Now, how many families will this affect?
This will affect at least about 40-some-odd homes.
That means then that if you take out over 40 homes in the crosstown and some 20 homes in the MoPac, that you will be destroying Clarksville as a community.
Absolutely, completely destroying it. Church and all.
What church is there here?
Sweet Home Missionary Baptist Church.
Now, when do you expect the crosstown to come in?
Do not know, because of the fact that some said it will be 2 years, some said it'll be 5, and others said it'll be 10.
So one of the problems, it seems to me, that you have is that for about 12 or 13 years, you will not know whether you're going to have your property or not. You'll not know whether to fix it up or not. And by the time they take your property, it is when it is way down, because everyone lets his property go for this long period of time, since you don't know whether you're fish or fowl, what to do with it.
That's exactly where the trouble is.
If the city and the state is going to take your property for public use, they should do so and do it quickly, so that so that people can plan, instead of merely putting a cloud over your property and then let that cloud stand there for 10 and 13 years.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's the object, and that's the idea. If they're going to do something, then why not give us some idea that wherein that we can kind of make some steps for the future ourselves ahead of time. First thing I did, I went to the Planning Commission and talked with them in their office concerning what they were planning to do. And they said then, not definite, we do not know, we're just trying to plan out. I said, well, why not? Give us some inside line on what you have in mind, that wherein we make some preparation. I said, and if not, why not help us? We've been trying for the last 8 or 10 years to get the city to help us fix up where we're at. I need the road, we need our streets fixed, as it should and ought to be, our drainage all fixed out there like it should and ought to be, so when these heavy rains and things come, the people won't be stranded.
Does the Clarksville community want to remain as a community, or are the people willing to move?
They do want to remain together in the same sweet spirit as a community as they always have, if it's any way possible in the world to do it.
If you have lived in Clarksville 70 years, then when was Clarksville founded?
Clarksville was founded in 1871.
That's right after the
That's when
Civil
it
War.
started, yes, sir.
I think we found that the first portion of land was bought by a man by the name of Clark.
Yes, sir. Griffin Clark.
Griffin Clark.
Yes, sir.
And as a matter of fact, that it was a white person who had returned from the Civil War, who was very grateful for the fact that so many black people had taken care of their families while they were away, that they made the land available.
Yes, sir.
In the same way, the heritage societies of the white communities take buildings and properties and put a label on it and say that this is history and it has been here
Yes,
for 100 years.
Yes.
Clarksville is history
Yes,
that
sir.
has been here for 100 years.
Yes, sir.
And should be preserved.
Yes, sir.
Let's get back to what all of this does to people. I think in one of the discussions, the city indicated that the average price of a home and land that the person would receive would be around $4,000 or $4,500.
Yes, sir.
Now, if you were paid $4,500 for your house at your age, could you get another house in Austin for that money?
No, sir. No kind of way. Not any kind of way.
Could you get a loan?
I couldn't get a loan now. No kind of way. I can't get one now.
But what would happen if you had to take this for your home?
Well, if I had to take that from my home, if I couldn't get nothing else, I guess it'd have to be like the rabbits or something wild. I'd just have to put me up a tent somewhere and just stay there, or hunt me a hole in a rock. Charlie Clark, the man that bought 2 acres of ground from Shelley to establish a community on the west side of town for colored people. I think records will show that he purchased this ground perhaps during the years of 1880 or along there. But I can remember back, say, from 89, living next door to Charlie Clark. Why, I got to know him pretty good. He bought 2 acres of ground, and my people were the first that bought from him. My father happened to come here from Brazos County. He was representative in the legislature, and he wanted to live out where it was quiet, and so he bought a lot. There was a rock fence on Watterson that led all the way to the dam. A handmade rock fence of just rocks piled on each other. That fence lasted many years, but with the town developing as it has, residents coming in and so on, we have now got a different kind of a fence to represent that. The boundary line of Clarksville were then and has always been between 10th Street and Watterson Avenue, beginning at West Lynn, going west for a few miles on the other side of the Missouri-Pacific line. But as things developed in the area on the other side of the Missouri-Pacific, our people began to sell out in that neighborhood and come over and were finally all located east of the Missouri-Pacific lines. As far back as I can remember, it has always been said that the Missouri-Pacific line that someday would be a big thoroughfare through this area. And it seems to be maturing now. It seems that the Missouri-Pacific lines are going to make quite a change in the area. Relative to old-timers that lived out here, that came up during the time that I was coming up out here, they have all passed. And with these memories, I can't remember anyone that came up when I was a boy coming up out here, except after I kind of got up thinking that I was a man. I do recall Seymour Washington. He came up, he was quite a neighbor and a friend, had a daughter born the same year that he was born. They're all now quite old people.
Governor N.F. Pease's daughter, Miss Julie Pease. I drove a carriage for her. two sorrel horses, one named Mason and one named Dixie, to the church on 7th and Center. I used to drive from out here on Pease Road down to that church, even before any of the streets was paved or anything. Nothing but gravel streets. Then I worked for Governor Sayers over on 8th in Rio Grande. Back in 1910, I started working in the evenings after school in a blacksmith shop, learning the trade as an apprentice. And I shod horses and set ties on big wagons. Then I started to shoeing horses, shoeing 5-gated horses. I worked for a lady here by the name of Miss Helen Hall that run a riding club over on Western Field Riding Club over on off of Enfield Road. Now have a swimming pool there. Miss Helen Hall came here from Eden, Texas, with about 8 or 10 horses. Rode them all the way here. And at that time, Mr. Murray Graham was living, and he let her have a spot of land over there where she could run a riding club. She ran this riding club, and I shod horses for her. Then I went to work for Mrs. Bell out of New York. She was a 5-gated horseshoe woman. She rode 5-gated horses and trained children to ride 5-gated horses. And those horses had to be weighted, shoes had to be weighed, and they had to have toe weights, side weights, heel weights, and all types of shoes for action. And I went to making those shoes for Mrs. Bell. And then when the horses would go in the ring, I had the job of gingering a horse. Now, if people don't know what gingering a horse is in a show ring, why, it's simply you chewing up root ginger in your mouth and taking it in your hand as the horse goes out to show. Walk up by him and pat him on the hip, raise his tail, and stick this hot ginger in the rear end. Now, what's that for? That's to give this horse poise. When he gets out in the ring, that ginger burns him under there, and he hoists his tail in an arch and makes it pretty. I think the expressway is all right. You can't stop progress. Progress is going on regardless of what people say. And you just can't stop progress. If it's coming through here, it's just coming through. There's not anything we can do about it. That's the way all the street was born, through progress. As the town grows, people need more room for automobiles and pedestrians. And they just have to make room for them. And if you have to move, you just have to move. Don't know where to go. Just have to find a place, like a rabbit finding a new home in the grass. The park originated was really the home of where I was raised, my mother's home. And I leased it to the city for any period of time to where they could have a park for the little small tots. And the Human Opportunity, HOC, all the young people got out there and worked and cleaned it up, and painted it up, and fixed it up for the little small tots to play on. And that's the way it started.
And the urban renewal is supposed to come through?
Urban renewal.
Yes.
We don't know when that's going to happen, Freddie.
They say it was 5 years.
And then something they told me up to City Hall where I had to pay taxes. That highway and all that stuff may come here in the next 5 years, and it may be the next 10 years, and it may be 15 years.
Well,
he said because it's so much, they got to come through the infield with that clover leaf.
Reason I asked because on the infield, they already moving houses, and on Hancock Drive, they already put started on two.
Oh, well, that's that coming
MoPac.
down. MoPac.
Yeah, that's MoPac.
Yeah, that's at MoPac.
So they started.
They coming on down with the MoPac.
I just don't think it's right. And we asked for pavement out here on our street, and they won't put that out here. And now we're trying to get together and trying to build our community up, and now they want to tear it down, putting it on the highway through here. And we all stick together as a group, as a community. I think we stop this MoPac. We do want our homes out here because most of us have been out here just about all our lives. I'd rather sit down and raise my kids out here instead of raising them over there on the east side or the south side, where I know it's kind of rough. They should just leave us alone and take their highway somewhere else. They cross town somewhere else too. They act like they want our community to be tore up just because we are all colored people. I think they just feel that they just want to push us around, but we're not going to let that happen. Is it because we're black? Is it because they want to tear our community up? Is it because we call Washington and 10th Street Clarksville? I'd like to have an answer to that from higher people, you know, like the governor, the mayor. We'd like to get the mayor out here to look at it. We'd like to get the mayor out here to talk about it. Maybe we could get maybe we could get our street paved, and maybe we could stay out here. But until then, I'm gonna stay right there in my house. Until then, I ain't giving in. I'm gonna stay right there.
MoPac, well, I don't think it should deprive people of a living, like, say, force people have to move for something that the city is building. I've lived here all my life in this community, and it's coming right where I live. And I don't think people should have to give up something that they really, really love for the city or the state or whoever.
It's pretty hard on the families to have to move and get new homes after they done paid for these.
So many people move, leave their homes. That's not so good. This community's been here for years.
It's kind of unfair to the neighborhood because they could have found somewhere else to, you know, move the MoPac, because they could have gone to the rich neighborhood, plus they had to pay more money for the houses there. In this neighborhood, they had to pay, you know, less on the conditions.
I'm for the improvement of the city. And, of course, if it's going to improve the city, I am for it. MoPac won't affect me, but the cross-town will. If we get replaced properly, I'm for it 100%. That means for all of us.
There ain't no sense in it. Some people need the ass kicked. Highways. Don't want to give people nothing for the property. Talking about they ain't worth it. They ain't worth it, wasn't it ever to want it for? Taxpayer paying for it. Or the way they're putting taxes on people. Heavy tax every year. You and me and everybody else. You can't live on the highway. Your property, you don't want to pay you nothing for it. No. Ain't worth. All stove up, rheumatism. What you can do about it? Can't do nothing. Clarksville is the best neighborhood in Austin. There ain't no shooting going on out here. I could tell over in the East Austin. People don't want to live in them neighborhoods. They're crazy to do. They sell their homes. People stick together. There ain't home here. No way in the world make you sell your home for a highway.